Hey, so I just wanted to do this so I could have something recorded of me speaking, but I want to talk about the Boy Scouts name change that just came out and the history of kind of the Boy Scouts changing their names. So basically, back in 1989, the Boy Scouts were just the Boy Scouts of America, and this is the case America or Boy Scouts of America versus Dale. Okay, you can look it up online. So basically, there was adult membership into the Boy Scouts, where if you were an adult, you could join the Boy Scouts. And so this guy Dale was an open homosexual, and he wanted to join the Boy Scouts. So he went to apply, and they denied him based on being a homosexual. And so he sued, obviously. And he sued under a public accommodations law, basically trying to use an equal protection argument under the 14th Amendment, which basically says that he is being discriminated against based on his sexual orientation. That argument clearly failed. And plus the public accommodation law that they were using just didn't, it was like vague or overbroad to this matter, whatever. So in the alternative, the homosexual guy who was denied membership into the Boy Scouts used a First Amendment argument, freedom of association and expression. And basically, he was saying that he has the right to freely associate, with whoever he wants, and the Boy Scouts are kind of violating that rule by not allowing him into their group. But the Boy Scouts is a private, not-for-profit organization. They're not. The Constitution, as I've repeatedly said, does not apply to private companies. It only applies to the government. You can only sue the government for a constitutional violation. So if you think that you have a free speech, if someone took away your free speech, it better be a government actor. Otherwise, you have no standing. It is a moot point. It's moot. It's done. It's dead. So anyway, in the alternative, this guy Dale sues. Gets the Supreme Court under the First Amendment, freedom of expression and association, and they're trying to basically see if they can hold the Boy Scouts to the Constitution. Like, are they intertwined with the government so much that they should be held to the Constitution? And maybe this is a First Amendment issue, right? A freedom of association. So anyway, the court found that this was an issue about like freedom of association. However, the Constitution does not apply to the Boy Scouts like that. So they didn't violate any kind of amendment, or they didn't violate any association. They didn't violate the First Amendment, okay? And they said basically that it says the expressive associational right is crucial in preventing the majority from imposing its views on groups that would rather express other, perhaps unpopular ideas. In order to decide whether enforcing the Boy Scouts to accept Dale violates the group's First Amendment rights to expressive association, we must first take into account several inquiries. So then it goes into the legal standard, which is basically, if you have a religious belief, you cannot be questioned about that belief. As long as it's a genuine, sincerely held belief, it might be the craziest fucking thing in the world. You might believe that there's like fairies all around you and they're like God. As long as that's a sincerely held belief, that is the legal standard. So that's why they use those words, just some, syntax semantics for you. So they say, okay, let's look at the Boy Scouts. Do they have a sincerely genuine held belief that they shouldn't have homosexuals in their membership, right? So this is what the court ended up finding. They basically, it's kind of interesting because the guy Dale, the homosexual, says his freedom of associational rights is being, or expressional right, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying, is being violated. But that argument actually flips on him and ends up working in favor of the Boy Scouts because the government cannot force a private entity or organization or private person, citizen, to do anything. They don't have the police power to do that. They don't have the authority to do that. So they have to respect the fact that the Boy Scouts have a genuinely held, sincere belief that homosexuality goes against their policies. Actually, this is what they said. They said that they have to... God, I lost it. Oh, fuck. I lost it. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. Well, first of all, they had to repeatedly reiterate that although, the Boy Scouts are literally like not doing shit wrong, they don't agree with anything, like any of their homosexual pals, or like not including them. But basically, the Boy Scouts assert that homosexual conduct is inconsistent with values it seeks to instill, and that it quote unquote teaches that homosexual conduct is not morally straight and does not want to promote homosexual conduct as a legitimate form of behavior. So basically the Boy Scouts are like, nah, we're not part of this. Like, we don't want to promote that type of behavior. This guy's like an open homosexual. It's not like he's like, just going about his life, keeping it, he's like openly running around. Apparently he was running around Rutgers University, like probably with a fucking flag. I don't even know, but they were basically saying he was a personality. And so they ended up holding for the Boy Scouts and saying, no, like, you don't have to be forced to allow someone into. And plus, if you think about it, why should the Boy Scouts be forced to allow the homosexual guy Dale into their group? It's like everyone's saying, we don't want you here. Why are you trying to sit at our table when no one wants you there? In a sense, it's weird. And so that's basically the case. And then today I see that the Boy Scouts are quote unquote rebranding, whatever the hell that means. And in an attempt to promote inclusivity, it's probably government owned now or something. They got to do some DEI program. Who knows? But they said that they're changing the name in order to promote inclusivity. And that just is crazy because, as I just explained and read to you, the court case, this is only from 1989. This opinion was held on June 28, 2000. In the year 2000. This is what are we in 2024? 24 years ago. That's really, in legal world, not that long ago. And I can't believe it. Like, they just literally, they're literally grooming these private organizations to follow their agendas and do their agendas. And it's like, it is like that. It's like whatever David Icke calls these, like the totalitarian tiptoe or something, where it's grooming you. It's getting you ready for it. It's okay, we're going to change the name now, and then we're going to start including homosexuals, and then we're going to start including transsexuals, and then we're going to start taking away women's sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is one thing after the next, and then it's slow, and then it's progressive, if that makes sense. But I hope that gives you a little bit of a taste of what that's all about. Thanks.